This is Aditya along with Devachit, and we are here to talk about the first day's play between India and England from third test at Mohali. So let's begin from the starting. England won the toss. It was an important toss to win, and this crucial test match, especially for the visitors. And without any hesitation, Alistair Cook went out to bat with his team. So after a good start for around 32 for no loss, with Hamid being pretty defensive on his end, and Cook did get a move on early, but then he also got a few chances. England lost the toss in the plot in the first session. They were 92 for 4, and they managed to get 268 for 8 at Stumps on day one. So after a good toss to win, England got playing for a good start, but then what exactly happened? I mean, the top order did not click at all.
The top order paid the price of being over aggressive. You can definitely say that. And after that, what happened was India deserved the credit for not allowing the England batsmen to build strong partnerships. I mean, that is what we got to see in the second test match as well. And that was seen in the first test as well. I mean, India made the early breakthroughs in the first innings of the Rajkot test, and then Joe Root and Moeen Ali, they revived England with their 200 plus run stand, which actually strengthened their position in the game, and they eventually scored 537. Even in the second test, when India had England on the map, Jonny Bairstow and Ben Stokes combined together to get England out of trouble, and they again took England to a respectable position. But that is something which India kept checking throughout the day. They kept picking wickets, even though England batsmen were getting on the defensive, or even if they were trying to be a little aggressive. I mean, in the second session, England started off on an aggressive note. But India were able to take wickets on a regular interval, which is why India ended the day on the top.
And talking about Alistair Cook and Joe Root, I mean, they are the mainstay of Indian starting lineup. And looking at the way they got out, what do you reckon about that? I mean, Alistair Cook could have waited to see what Ashwin is up to. He just went for the loose cut in the first ball of Ashwin's spell. And Joe Root, his dismissal just shot was pretty reckless.
You can't say Joe Root's shot was very reckless because probably he would have had River trying to start the ball away. He saw a short ball from Jayan Yadav. Jayan Yadav does not work with a lot of pace. So what he would have anticipated was a short ball on the leg side. He would have tried to work it on the leg on the leg side probably behind the wickets, but he failed to connect the ball.
And he was very late also.
Exactly. But that was Root, and Root has been in good form, so we cannot really blame Root. But Alistair Cook's approach throughout the time he was there in the crease was very questionable because he was the one who started talking about winning the toss and winning the matches right from the moment England lost his second test at Visakhapatnam. What Cook was wanting to do was to win the tosses, to have the luck in their favor and then bat well. But if you look at how he batted in the first inning, how he batted today, the intent was definitely missing because Cook was not looking his usual self at all. There was a leading edge. He was trying to swat the ball. Bat was twisted in the third over itself. The edge of few right over Ravindra Jadeja's head in the third set. Even after that, there was a catch drop at the short mid wicket by Ravichandran Ashwin. Cook did get a few boundaries in the beginning, but throughout the stay at the crease, he was not his assured usual self. So that is something which England would have been worried about. But then, even if Cook failed and Root failed, there was nobody else to stand up and take control.
And talking about England's batting further, there was only Jonny Bairstow who was a lone warrior for them, and with a solid 89 before he just perished in the last session. Did he deserve a century?
Jonny Bairstow definitely deserved a century because he was the best England batsman today. He was showing the full face of the bat to the spinners and even to the fast bowlers. But unfortunately, he was out playing an aggressive stroke, and he was given 2 lifelines as well. So he was lucky to get to the score of 89, and to which he was eventually dismissed. And even on the ball before on which he was dismissed, the last delivery he was dropped by Parthiv Patel behind the wicket. So he was lucky to get there. But he definitely deserved a century because he showed a lot more application and a lot more intent of scoring runs compared to the other Indian batsmen. Somebody like Ben Stokes, he was trying to rotate the strike, but then again he was struggling hands down against Ravindra Jadeja.
And what about Josh Butler? I mean, this is his comeback match. He looked good, very good for his 43, but then just when India were trying to tighten the training shoes and they were not getting easy runs, Butler just lost patience and he just came down the track, and it was Kohli who was just at the right place at short coverage.
That dismissal completely belongs to Virat Kohli because he moved from extra cover to the cover position and he took a very fine, clean diving catch because India have been spinning a lot of catches at this. So this is Keeping this in mind, Kohli deserves full credit for that wicket, but that stroke was not Butler's fault because England were kind of getting stuck around that time and they needed to rotate the strike very well, and that is what Butler was trying to do. But uh, keeping in mind the bidder which Butler has had for this particular Test match, till Visakhapatnam he was not there in the English scheme of things as far as Test cricket was concerned. But he got a chance. He has played only one first-class match before this Test match. But the way he batted today, he fell 7 runs short of a half century. So this is certainly a positive sign for England to see their replacement batsman in place of Brent Duckett going out there and getting some runs and even spending time at the wicket.
So talking about India, I mean they were a little sloppy on with the fielding early in the morning, especially with Ashwin dropping that simple chance at short mid wicket. I think. But after that, the bowlers did really well to help the game back in Africa. So what about the bowlers? I mean, everyone chipped in. It was Jayant Yadav, then Umesh Yadav was stranded in the whole day's play, and Mohammad Shah.
See, India were very unlucky in the first test because they dropped around 5 catches and England went on to make 500 and more runs. But India dropped 4 catches today. I mean, 1 catch was dropped by Ravichandran Ashwin, 1 by Jadeja and 2 by Partha. But again, Indian bowlers did not lose their heart. I mean, the wicket was also good for the spinners. I mean, they were able to bowl their line and then they were able to extract some bounce and some turn from the wicket. So that is something which you have to give to the Indian bowlers who are in their cricket. But then, if you are going to make so many mistakes against a quality side like England, you can consider yourself lucky to get away with what India did today.
And especially, what about Umesh Yadav? I mean, he has improved a lot since in the recent times. So today, the way he bowled, I mean, he extracted much movement and assistance from the pitch.
Not just today, he's been bowling excellently ever since that ODI series against New Zealand. He has upped his game. I mean, his game has developed very, very well in the last couple of weeks. What he has been trying to do is he's trying to maintain a very tight line around the right-handers, and his deliveries, especially the ones which move away from the right-handers, actually are very, very good on the spot. And this is something which tested Hasib Hami in the morning, and Hasib Hami had not much to reply.
Yeah. And lastly, what about Partha Patel? I mean, he's making a comeback after 8 years. It's kind of a debut league. And since then, Virat Kohli has become the captain. Modi has been great on MS Dhoni. So, and he looked good. I mean, in patches. I mean, he dropped a few catches. He took a good catch and a stumping also.
Yeah, there was a very interesting comment made by one of the BCCI officials on anonymous basis that Partha Patel is being considered as the second best wicketkeeper after Riddiman Saha. I have serious doubts because even Saha spilled a couple of catches in the first test, and he was a little sloppy in the second test as well. That's what I know. So keeping that in mind, Partha did not do very bad. Yes, he could have taken those 2 chances of Jonny Bairstow, and had he taken the first chance itself, I don't think Bairstow was even past his 50.
Yeah.
The scoreline would have been entirely different. It could have been the case that England could have been bowled down. So it's been on and off, but looking at the way he kept to the fast bowlers with the ball swinging away sharply from the batsmen in the early stages of the game, and then keeping to somebody like Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja, the stumping of Bairstow was top notch. So I think close to full marks for Partha Patel.
And there is he'll be a relief man right now with Bairstow missing out on the century and he's back in the hut. So India definitely are in command right now. What do you think will be a good score for England? I mean, whatever they add from now will be like bonus score for them.
In the first test, when England were batting really well, David Lloyd, he tweeted that win toss, bat long and bat hard.
Yeah.
That is something which he was trying to convey, that if you win the toss, if you are in an advantageous position, if you are not going to bat full, then you put enough runs on the board. Now England have failed to do that. There is a high possibility that England will be bowled. England will get bowled out under 300, and if that happens, England would have definitely squandered a chance to put India into some real pressure, because if the game is at all going to go into the 4th innings, India are the one who are going to bat full. Now the fact that England do not have many runs on the board, and say if India go on to make 500, 600 because they have a very strong batting lineup. Murali Vijay has got 100s, Cheteshwar Pujara has got 100s, Virat Kohli has got 100s. Karun Nair, he has been getting a lot of runs in the domestic circuit. Ajinkya Rahane will be determined to make a mark finally in this test series. So keeping this in mind, if at all India get England bowled out for anything under 300 and put on even 500 on the board, the game will be probably out of the reach for England.
So as of now, India are on top, but then they have to restrict England as soon as possible. I mean, below 300, and let's see how they reply tomorrow with the bat. So that's it from us. But stay tuned for on Cricket Country for more updates on the game. Thank you.